Hello, I created a lesson plan focusing on both types of visuals for instruction. This includes the use of visuals to communicate to learners and then also allows the learners a chance at designing a visual to help make sense of the content. I decided to make my lesson plan based off of a 6th grade math lesson on the expressions and equation standards. The title would be on combining like terms. The objective for my students would be for them to be able to generate equivalent expressions by combining like terms. The lesson will start off with a hook, which would be me projecting a visual on the board. The visual for this particular lesson would be this basketball image of two different teams fighting for the ball. Some questions that I would probe to the students to start off the discussion would be, what do you notice about the image? Or what could you tell me about the players on the team? Who is on the same team? How do you know the different teams? And the whole idea behind this is just to get the students engaged in a topic that might be interesting to many with sports, and just for them to start to recognize that, okay, in this image there seems to be two different teams. We know this because one has blue jerseys, one has white jerseys, and just kind of begin a discussion on what a teammate would do. And the reason for this is that will tie in to when we start to combine like terms. After the discussion, once students are able to recognize the differences in the teammates, I will play a short YouTube video clip, which really uses sports to help explain combining like terms. So in this clip, it also uses basketball to help students recognize those who are wearing the same jersey are considered like terms, and for them to view the jerseys as variables. So, for example, I have in my lesson plan that if you looked at 3x and 8x, they would be on the same team and therefore could be combined because they are both wearing the same jersey. And in this case, the jersey is the variable, which is x. If I'm looking at another example with 4x and 4y, since the jerseys are not the same, they would be on different teams like a white and a blue jersey, they cannot be combined. So after beginning the lesson with the visual graphic and a short YouTube clip, we will then get into the direct instruction of the lesson. The first thing I will do will be to complete a guided notes page on the vocabulary, and in this area it will just go over different vocab terms like coefficients, constants, terms, and other like variables as well. After completing the notes page, we will then begin the Google Slides presentation. And in the Google Slides presentation, it will have a series of questions. Again, start out with sparking discussion among students by looking at this graphic and trying to get students to just tell me similarities and differences between these four different terms. We will work through a problem together that includes a visual that students will need to use in order to gain information from to solve the problem. This discussion, this project will also lead into a lot of discussion with sharing with partners and sharing strategies, comparing strategies. So we will leave time for students to kind of work with one another and share their findings. It will also, in the Google Slides, we'll go over a picture that could be used for my visual learners of how they could have solved this. It could also be a different strategy used. So again, we will be able to highlight the various strategies. And then we will be able to, again, I'll just quickly go through this, but different connections, how to apply this to new questions. So we will go through the Google Slides presentation while students complete the work in a textbook. And then after that, the students will work on some independent and guided practice. So where I decided to incorporate some more visuals was on ThingLink. So the purpose for the students would be to create a ThingLink on an algebraic expression. And with this ThingLink, they would have freedom in how they wanted to set it up. This could be a potential student example where they kind of color-coded some different vocab terms. They included the vocab terms using the ThingLink. So here it shows like the 5 is the coefficient. If you type here, you see that this whole 5x is considered the term. We've got our constant. So they will just be able to creatively construct a vocabulary diagram. I also decided to include like a quick check here. So thinking, and again, comparing this back to the video, which teams are wearing the same jersey? So what would you be able to combine? So in this case, and I changed the color, you can see X and X match. That would be the same team. Therefore, you can combine the 5X and the X. I also added a poll at the end of the ThingLink, which students would be able to do just to quickly check and gauge a quick formative assessment. When they are finished with the ThingLink, they would be instructed to post their findings on a class Jamboard. And the purpose of this is just almost to do a virtual gallery walk where all of the findings can be put together in class. They can use QR codes, and it will just give them a chance to look at what their classmates created and how like different similarities and differences from their takeaways. And I think the Jamboard would just be a nice visually appealing, organized way to put the material. And then finally, just for some closure, we would complete an exit ticket. And for the exit ticket, that will actually be found in the Google Slides. So on the very last slide, there will be a link to Padlet. And on the Padlet, the students will have to open and read the question that is given to them. And the directions state to answer on a new sticky note, and then also to include a GIF to depict how they are feeling after the lesson. So just also a quick check-in for the teacher to assess. So this student seems to understand it. You can see they properly put the answer, whereas this student has a little bit too many terms, because in this case it did just ask for 3 terms in the direction, and this image is representing that this person is a little bit unsure. So again, another cool, visually appealing thing to get students engaged and a nice way to organize information. Students would be able to look at this and comment, hey, you might want to go back and check, here's a potential error. So that would be the exit ticket. Here is just a list of the resources of different visuals to include. Again, we had the hook image, we had the combining like terms video, the handout on vocab, the Google Slides, the ThingLink, the Jamboard, and Padlet. I also just included some differentiation throughout the lesson, and then just what would be considered the formative and summative assessments. Thank you.